To support this podcast, go to positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amount is appreciated. Once again, positivesarcasm.com/donate. Thank you and enjoy the program. Jay here, positivesarcasm.com, recorded here from New Hampshire's beautiful seacoast inside the Spare Parts Studio. Like, subscribe, share, donate. Positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amounts appreciated. You can hit me up one of several ways. You can email me through my website. Go to the contact section of my website, positivesarcasm.com. You can hit me up on Instagram at @positive_sarcasm. And, of course, you can email me directly, positivesarcasm@outlook.com. All right. Yeah, I get it. If you're watching the podcast, yeah, I got facial hair. I got shit all over my face. Oh, did your boyfriend tell you to do that? Yeah, very, very funny. No. I was asked if I could grow facial hair for the month of November, and I was like, fine. I'm not going to fight about it. So I'm going to have this stuff on my face probably for the next, 3 weeks here. We'll see how that goes. I'm not a huge fan of facial hair. I had it for a while, but I felt like I looked like a homeless version of Tony Stark. So here we go. This is what you're going to get for the next couple of episodes. It's fine. It's whatever. Actually, it's a lot easier for me now having to really shave every other day. But, yes, what we're going to get. Anyways, if you want to find this podcast, it's on Rumble and YouTube, Positive Sarcasm. And, of course, anywhere where audio version is available, you go ahead and look me up, like, subscribe, share through that network of many, many podcast applications. I was up till 10:30 last night trying to figure out essentially what the future of the country was going to be, or at least supposedly. You never know. But after 10:30 and I realized what was basically taking place. I was like, okay, now I know what's going on. I watched Bitcoin go up to $75,000 and I went to bed. Couldn't sleep. It takes a little bit out of you. Every 4 years you don't know. That's a lot. But we talk about mental wellness, physical wellness, emotional wellness, financial wellness on this podcast. And I got to tell you, on the internet, especially last 12 hours, 16 hours, there's a lot of emotional people. I guess you call it that if you want to be polite about it. These people are not mentally well. So if you are complaining and you have a headset on and a microphone and a way of recording it and editing it and putting it up online, okay, then you can absolutely argue that you are not mentally unwell, okay? You may say things that are questionable or controversial or, quite frankly, inappropriate, but you are putting on a platform. You're putting on a platform. You're putting on an episode of something so that people can listen to or be insightful or comment or just enjoy or laugh or disagree or whatever, or share their opinion. People who go ahead and grab a phone in their bathroom or in their car and make it shaky and then just start screaming and start crying, that's presentation. They're putting on a performance. They're putting on an impromptu performance to literally get attention. This is what supremely mentally unwell people do. Doesn't matter what side of the political aisle they lean on. Anybody who does this is mentally unwell. Probably on medication. I know you generally see it. It's generally from women or men that look or act like women, but this is what I'm seeing. These people are not healthy. These people that as soon as they find out that a event has happened that is not sided with their viewpoints, whatever their viewpoints happen to be, they completely melt down on the internet, and now they are forever enshrined as somebody who is not wifey or husband material. You literally go ahead and grab yourself, and the first thing you do is you start screaming at the top of your lungs, and you got no choreography and no actual microphone and no notes or thought process taken before this. You literally just grab it and start screaming. This is performative. This is performative bullshit of crazy people who are unwell, people who do not think before they act, who do not have any actual valuable facts or subject matter or science or values behind their opinions. These are lunatics. These are not people who are welcome in my universe. These are not people I listen to. These are people who don't have any value in my world. These are people I literally just, as I'm going to post pictures of my puppy every morning, as I do happen to. Thank God it's not a squirrel or a raccoon, or the federal government would have came in and shot them. But this is what I happen to see. Now, my feed is pretty crazy, but that's whatever. It's my choice. It's my feed. It's my app. I'll do what I please with it. But this is some of the stuff I see. And I can honestly tell you that, one, these people are unwell, and two, it's performative. They literally know how to get attention because they never bothered to learn any other facet. Maybe it's playing guitar. Maybe it's harmonica. Maybe it's tap dancing, or poetry, or mathematics, or video editing. No, it's really just grab their iPhone that they don't need and start screaming. And it's not one, it's not two, it's hundreds. And these people represent other people all over the U.S. who are absolutely out of their mind. And you can take this, whether the context is connected or not. These people apparently have been surfacing more and more due to the mental downturn in this country. People are nuts. These people are a perfect example of the insanity that plagues our current state of the union. And I can tell you this. The first thing you should do when a situation occurs that you are vehemently against, the first thing you should not do is pick up your phone. Okay? You need to understand what has taken place. All right? You need to write down what you're thinking. You need to express yourself in such a way that's not going to get you noticed on the internet or arrested or in physical or in any way put yourself in physical harm. You need to breathe. You need to think, why did this happen? Get some sort of sense of why this has taken place. What to expect from this change of events that maybe did not go your way, or actually is going to go your way. You just haven't realized that it's actually to your benefit that these events have taken place. Obviously, you're not going to agree with me. These people are clearly broken individuals. Now, I have posted many different versions of my emotions on the internet, but I'll tell you this. There was editing involved. There was reasoning behind my mental state at that time, and I explained it all down the road. Okay? I have been sad on this podcast. I've been tired on this podcast. I've been I've gone on crazy rants on the vlogs and the podcast. I've cried. I've done many things, but it was all with time and preparation, and ultimately led to a conclusion and a reason for what I was doing. There is validity behind what I do. There's therapy behind what I do. Grabbing my phone and screaming on Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat is not therapy. That's not anything. That is essentially letting the insanity, the mental illness that's in your brain, you're letting that virus take control of you. You're not in control. These people are not in control. They don't want to be in control. They want to be seen and coddled. But by whom? They literally just want to rip the wallpaper down. They want to rip everything down around them. They just want to curl up in a ball and die. And I can only sympathize or empathize or pathize with them so much until I just have to move on with my day. Now, if you want to be a little more financially well off, or a little more emotionally or physically and aesthetically more well off, well, this is a podcast for you. It's 30 minutes. You're in, you're out, you're sometimes confused, but overall, I am trying to help you. I am trying to offer some insight into these random situations that people happen to get themselves into. I obviously can't solve the Israeli-Hamas conflict. Well, no, I can't. Don't go there. I can't solve those types of problems for you, but I can tell you that some of the things you see online are definitely on purpose and performative from people that are just very unwell. And people you want nothing to do with, nothing to be around with, nothing. These are people that you should emotionally, you should just overall be like, oh, Susan had a meltdown on the internet. All right. Is Susan known for doing this? Well, guess what, Susan? We're good. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I always had a feeling that you'd do this, but whatever just happened, I don't know. Maybe your husband, if you happen to have one, or family members, they should go and check on you. Yeah, Susan had a breakdown on the internet. She lost her fucking mind. I don't know if she was on her meds, off her meds, too much of her meds, not enough of her meds. But look, she got some stuff to figure out. There's millions of those Susans out there apparently, and these are people that I don't meet these people. I don't associate myself with them. Maybe they've had a dog that I've met once in a while when taking Chase for a walk. I don't know. These people, I see them. I know they're there. I saw them 8 years ago when they started crying and screaming and yelling on the internet, which was all performative. It's all bullshit. And I saw it again last night. It is pretty wild. It's inappropriate. It's not helpful. There's no healing. It's regretful. Honestly, what is worse? What is worse? Doing OnlyFans and then converting to Christianity? Or basically having a full-blown meltdown on the internet because an election did not go your way? What is more damaging? What is more damaging? Regretting doing porn or having a mental meltdown on the internet because your candidate lost? Which one lives further in infamy? Which one is the harder one to explain? That's a good question. What's worse? Regretting doing porn or regretting melting down on the internet for 15 seconds? That's the question of the day. If you want to comment on that, you can email me directly. You can hit the comment section down below. But that's what's worse, doing porn or being the chick from 2016 screaming no? I think she was wearing like that green jacket or something like that. Yeah, which one's worse? What's that? Mia Khalifa? Was it Mia Khalifa? The Arab chick who did porn for a while. So what's worse, being Mia Khalifa or the crazy chick who melted down in the middle of the town square? I ultimately wish, I'd say about 98% of the population, I wish them well. I wish them well-being. I wish them a speedy recovery on their insanity. And ultimately, I want them to contribute to society. The other 2% can get fucked. But ultimately, despite my exhaustiveness, despite my extremely busy schedule, and despite my wanting to just curl up in a ball and go to sleep, I'm here. I'm doing what I need to do in order to discipline myself and stay consistent with some of the tasks I need to accomplish on a weekly basis. I'm here. I'm going to answer some questions and get this done, get it uploaded, and move on with my week. You know what? I feel better. I feel like I've not given up. I want to do more. I don't want to just grab my phone and start screaming on the internet. I can't help those people. I can help those who want to be helped. I can help those people that, they got physical or financial, or even though this podcast is for entertainment purposes only, you can learn a lot from entertainment. And quite frankly, I'm entertained by a lot of these people who are having complete meltdowns on the internet. Some of them are Hollywood folk. That being said, it's a new day. We move on, and we answer questions. And if you have questions, you can email me directly, positivesarcasm.com. Go to the contact page, or email me directly, positivesarcasm@outlook.com. So, here we go. We have 14 minutes. We can get a couple in. I'm not going to lie, definitely tired. I'm a little wired, but I only got so much energy left in me, and I want to make sure I have enough health and wellness for my weekend activities and just my overall enjoyment of life. So let's go ahead and get that article monitor up. Let's see. Let's do number one. My wife and I are in our mid-30s. I hope that rant made sense. If it didn't, well, better luck next time. We recently managed to purchase a house, and Fiona, Scotty doesn't know that Fiona and me is something we've both wanted for a while, a child, but we never really were in a position to do before. Well, we were going over plans, kind of knowing they wouldn't be enough once the reality of a baby hits, but still trying to get at least a little headway before we start trying in earnest. And Fiona and me added in something I hadn't thought of a push present. I've never heard of such a thing, but apparently it's reasonably common to get your wife a present at or around the birth as a kind of thank you for all the difficulty and strain. Fair enough. I asked what kind of sort of gift she wanted, and she named a number of cars, which she wanted for personal use only. Not a shared vehicle like we have now. They were brand new, roughly $30,000 vehicles she was listing. If we super stretch and have basically no backup in case of an emergency or anyone losing their job, we can just about manage it. But if it's way too expensive to be prudent, especially when this would be coinciding with the baby, which is almost certainly means all sorts of unexpected expenses, I'm willing to get her something that's but not in that price range. I told her that, and it sparked a huge fight with her saying how she's contributing 9 months of her life and putting her health at a significant risk, and that's what she deserves. I'm not sure we should have a baby. I'm not even sure if this is a deal breaker or not, and Fiona is taking a hesitation as proof that I don't really regard her or what she'd be going through with a pregnancy. I'm not sure what to do at this point and could use some help. Okay. So Fiona wants you to spend $30,000 before you get pregnant with something that's going to cost $130,000. I don't know who Fiona is, but I got to tell you this. This is a situation where you may need to distance yourself completely. This is, first of all, extremely selfish. I understand that labor is a lot of things. It's painful, it's intense, it's uncomfortable, blah, blah, blah. But ultimately, you owe me a $30,000. You owe me a material item. Look, if this was demanded of me, it sparked a huge fight. Okay. At face value, I would kick Fiona to the curb. If this is this your wife, by the way? Your wife and I are in your mid-30s. All right. You're in your mid-30s. Guess what? You got plenty of life left. You know what I would do? I'd call it a day. I'd say, if this is how you're going to act, are you a person I actually want to be with? Because this is not the behavior of somebody I want to be the mother of my child. I'm perfectly honest with you. $30,000? $30,000 for a car, and then all of a sudden she starts acting crazy and takes you to court, and now you got to pay child support. Or $30,000 and you get your freedom back after all the lawyer's fees and stuff from the divorce. I would bail. Honestly, I would bail. I'd be like, listen, I tried as hard as I could. She wanted a $30,000 car before, for when she got pregnant. No. That's a sign of things to come. Honestly, I would bail on the whole marriage. Okay? Now, a house that would support this family, vehicles that would support this family. There's a lot of things that can be done that are reasonable requests. But just a car for her to tool around in? Bitch, get your own ride. Okay? No, that's it. I'm sorry. There's no excuse for this, and it sparked a huge fight. It's selfish behavior, and it's not behavior you want from the future mother of your child. Let's do another one. I probably got 2 or 3 in me. I attended a work conference overnight this weekend with almost all of my colleagues. We were attorneys at a pretty small law firm. At the end of the conference day, we all had dinner together. Oh boy. My close colleague Jenna and I arrived to dinner before the rest of our colleagues. I ordered a mocktail. During dinner, another colleague pulled in, I'll have what she's having, and ordered my drink. I did not notice this. When it arrived without alcohol, she was apparently surprised. This led, for reasons I can't fathom, to my colleagues all around my age, almost all women, and almost all also associates, apparently deciding I must be pregnant. My colleagues were all very drunk. When we left dinner, one of the colleagues, Sarah, asked me outright if this is true. I asked her why would she think that, and explained that I wasn't drinking because I was going to a big party tomorrow, and drinking 2 nights in a row just was too much for me. Respectable. Another colleague, Rose, cornered me and said that she heard I was pregnant. I told her if I have something to announce, she'd hear about it. Rose proceeded to remind me that if our boss found out by way of gossip, he would be livid. Great. Wait, let me reread that. Rose proceeded to remind me that if our boss found out by way of gossip, he would be livid. Great. Rose and another associate, Amanda, then offered to get a round of drinks, knowing I was under so much scrutiny. I asked them to get me a glass of sparkling wine. Rose returned with the wine, announced to the group that I could prove I wasn't pregnant, and proceeded to watch me drink with Amanda. I drank about half the glass before I was saying I was heading to bed, since it was after 11. I came late to the next morning's first panel. Jenna told me to the group that I was still speculating, and I said I didn't drink enough and must indeed be pregnant. Here's the thing. I am pregnant. It is still early. I'm not ready to share, and even if my own family doesn't know yet. Oh. We don't have HR. I have no idea what to do. Confront each of these colleagues individually for incredibly inappropriate behavior. Announce early to head off gossip. I can't think of one partner at the firm I trust enough to speak about this. What in the world do I do? Fucking wow. You got some terrible colleagues. Is this all you women do is tear each other down? This is such the worst behavior. Like, you don't have an HR? Well, you can get an HR really quickly once you go ahead and grab a lawyer. But honestly, it's like, okay, you made a really bad choice. Not a bad choice. You made an unwise choice having a little bit of wine, and you're pregnant. Now, forgivable. I get it. You were under some pressure, but shouldn't have happened. But you know, whatever. You get a pass. You did the best you could given the circumstances, but your colleagues, it's horrible. It's terrible. I don't know whatever you you think is the right thing to do. I absolutely support you 100%. If you feel like you should just come out with it, yeah, because they're all going to feel crappy knowing that they forced you to drink, knowing that you are now with child. That's pretty trashy. Should you go? What would I do? What would I do if I was a chick with a kid in the tummy? I'd probably go to the owner. I'd probably go to the lead honcho and be like, hey, there's a situation. They forced me to do it. I'm almost thinking about leaving. What do you advise here? But there's a lot of things you could do. If you wanted to leave the company, I get it. If you want to speak to the owner, I get it. If you wanted to confront them all and tell them what happened to make them feel crappy, if that's even possible, I get it. There's a lot of options you could take. But yeah, I get it. This sucks. This one sucks. Feel like I'm gonna drink. Think of a firm I trust enough to speak about this. I can think of one. Okay, I can think of one partner at the firm I could trust enough to speak. Yeah, that sucks. It really does. That sucks. I would talk to somebody who can tell all these broads, be like, listen, what you did was fucking stupid. You realize the legal situation you may have put us in, and go from there. Let's move on. Let's do one more. That one was kind of tough. I didn't have a true, honest answer for you, but honestly, action. Action is the key. I recently met a man on a dating app. We hit it off quickly. We were texting all the time about work, writing, and the world, often getting pretty flirty. Aww. I was having tons of fun. He was charming and seemed to be conspicuously brilliant. I ignored the name dropping. I did make it clear on more than one occasion, though, that I wasn't ready to meet him in person yet. He lives in several states away and is over a decade my senior. I wanted to be more sure. Then I entered the most intense 10 days of my year. I have a very seasonal job. I stopped talking to him as much because I couldn't keep it up with everything on my plate and made that clear to him. I wasn't ignoring him to play games. I just had 8 to 10 hours of Zooms a day for this limited period. which would get progressively more intense until it was over. I thought he got it. Instead, he got in his car and drove roughly 500 miles down the coast to surprise me in my hometown. Keep in mind, we'd never met in person. He showed up uninvited and completely unannounced. He started texting me photos of the town and said it was time to meet. He was here for me. I did not respond to his grand gesture well at all. I was exhausted, stressed, unkempt, and not at all prepared for this drop-in. It struck me as aggressive and a huge imposition. I refused to meet him. He acted with astonishment and simmering outrage. He insisted that he was being so romantic, had just given me a gift like an emerald, and couldn't fathom I was refusing to spare even a few minutes to meet him when he'd undertaken a 1,000-plus mile trip to see me. I made it clear to him that the lack of 5 minutes wasn't the issue. I tried to explain very clearly at some length with the grand gesture it didn't work for me. Why this grand gesture didn't work for me. He did not acknowledge that he understood a word I said and just kept repeating how romantic he was and how baffling my response to him was given the transparent blessing he bestowed upon me. At least one friend acted similarly astonished that I didn't respond well to such a romantic gesture from such an interesting dude. Excuse me. The rest understand me better, I guess. Was my reaction unreasonable, uncalled for, ungrateful? How do I handle this? You have a creeper. Straight up. Like, that dude is creepy. That is not appropriate action to take. I can understand where his emotions were really high, maybe towards like the end of a relationship or in the middle of like an intense relationship, and obviously emotions get the best of you. This guy's never met you. You told him, I don't want to meet you yet. You live 500 miles away. I'm not ready for this. And I'm in my intense work period. You need to respect that. He didn't do that. This way, at this point, you need to cut off all ties, zero this guy out of your life, block him. If you don't give him your address, just completely delete everything from your life and block him. This is not appropriate behavior. It's not appropriate behavior for either party to do this. I think what you did was basically defensive and correct. I hope that he doesn't know where you live or where you work, so that you can kind of just zero this whole life out of this whole experience in your life out of you and just move on. Because this seems like a kind of a dangerous person if they're willing to go through great length. I mean, if you said okay and he drove 500 miles to meet you, that's different. Okay, that's a little different. But he drove that far with no permission from you. And you said you said repeatedly you weren't ready and that you were super busy with your work. Yeah. At face value, he needs to know that this was a bad idea and he just ruined this relationship. Like, it's over. It's done. You can't deal with this. And he's not listening. He doesn't get that this wasn't a bad idea in any way, shape, or form. I mean, I get it. So, yeah, I'm sorry. You're going to have to cut this one off because he screwed up big time. Anyways, you can find me on Instagram at @positive_sarcasm. You can email me directly, positivesarcasm@outlook.com. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, you can email me, Instagram, all that stuff. Like, subscribe, share, donate, positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amounts appreciated. Posing music for fitness competitors, go ahead and email me that way. YouTube and Rumble is where you can find the podcast video. You can also download it and stream it directly from my website, positivesarcasm.com. And, of course, it's anywhere else where podcasts are available: Substack, iTunes, Podcast Addict, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn. So go ahead and check it out there. In the meantime, thank you for listening, watching, and subscribing, and I'll check in on y'all next week. Recorded here from the Spare Parts Studio alongside New Hampshire's beautiful seacoast. For entertainment purposes only, this has been a Positive Sarcasm presentation.